as mentioned previously, this is going to be Ant-Man versus Nebula. We've got an aggression deck here, and we're pretty excited about what's going on. If you guys are watching this after the fact, please hit that like button and leave me a comment. I'd love to hear how I could play this deck differently or how I could approach Nebula differently. So let's jump into it and find out. All right. So we've done all these setup except for discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck and attach each technique attachment discarded this way to Nebula. Alright, so we've discarded none. Those are to sit off to the side there. And we'll flip this over. X is equal to the number of evasion counters on Nebula's ship. Okay. Maybe figure that out. She's going to start off with 2. The threat of 6. Force interrupt when the villain phase begins. Place 1 evasion counter here. Shoot the thrusters. First player action. Exhaust the Milano and spend up to 2 resources of any type. Remove 1 evasion counter from here for each resource spent this way. Okay, cool. The first technique attachment revealed each round gains surge. Okay. Force interrupt. When Nebula initiates an activation against you, resolve the special ability for each technique attachment in play. Then discard each of those attachments. All right. So let's draw into our hand. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 army of ants. 2 surprise attacks. When you change form, deal 3 damage to an enemy, 4 if you spend a fist resource doing this. No quarter, deal 4 damage to an enemy for each point of excess damage dealt this way, dealt to that enemy for this attack. Discard the top card of your deck and add an aggression red card. So cool, each excess. This is really fighting minions there, so how many minions out right now? I could almost do a stupid amount of damage right off the bat. Let's see. Do I like this hand? Do I want to get rid of any of these cards? Not really. So I could play an army of ants. I wish I had another resource, but I don't. I want to go and get my army of ants down because those are nice just to have for ping damage for some different stuff. So hold on to both of those, and we'll probably get 1 surprise attack down for 3 damage. Alright, so let's hold on to all of that, and we're going to drop no quarter off and just get 1 more card and see what we get. Professor X. Okay. So first things first, we'll exhaust the Milano, play Army of Ants. Everything up just a smidge. Get a little more room. And then we will use Professor X to play the other Army of Ants. We'll switch up to Giant. Spend a surprise attack. Play surprise attack. She starts off with 14 health. So she just went down by 10, or by 4 to 10. What a fun card. When I go up to this form, she takes a point of damage. Deals 3 more damage. And then force response. After a hero or villain does 3 or more damage to attached character with a single attack. So I did 4. Power Stone. There's Power Stone to the attacking hero or villain. Okay. So then the Power Stone becomes attached to Ant-Man. Who will now attack for 4 points of damage. That feels like a pretty powerful turn right off the bat. But aggression can be pretty powerful, so. Okay. That's everything I want to do on my turn. Do I want to hold on to Hope Summers? I think I'm going to discard Hope Summers for now. Well, hold on to Hope Summers. Let's see what else we draw. Resize. Home Technique, which we need to get on the field. And Queen Carrier. Alright. Tough call, but we got the Milano who's helping us some with resources and then some with this other stuff, so. We'll go from there. Let's ready everything back up because we got to get Home Technique down. Also, getting Queen Carrier down would be huge, but we'll figure that out. So, we are going to put 1 counter on Nebula's ship. Then we will, and that's after the villain game phase begins. So we've got to take some of those counters off it every once in a while. Interesting. Okay. It goes up by 1 because of the ship. So we got to keep an eye on threat and Nebula ship. And then when Nebula initiates an activation against you, resolve the special ability on each technique attachment in play. Okay. Then discard each of those attachments. All right. So we don't have any techniques in play right now. So she's going to attack Ant-Man, which we are sitting, honestly, still at full health. 12. So I'm not too terribly worried about being attacked. So I'll go ahead and take the hit. She's swinging for 2. Plus this boost. After this activation ends, attach this card to Nebula and resolve its special ability. Okay. So this gets attached to Nebula when we resolve its special ability. So we'll take 2 points of damage. Attached to Nebula. Reduce the amount of damage Nebula takes from each attack by 1 special. Discard 1 card at random from your hand. Wow, okay. So discard 1 card at random from my hand. That is annoying. I really hope that we're not getting Home Technique getting discarded here. I think I'm going to discard this one. Hope Summers. Okay. Alright, and that stays on her. We're going to get an encounter card. Freaking wide stance. And it's, of course, it's drawing near. Alright. Well. Oop. She didn't do enough damage to me for the Power Stone. So. But it reduces the amount of damage Nebula takes each attack by 1. Okay. So, start of my turn, discard the top card of my deck. 1 pursued by the pass counter. Okay. So we are going to, for sure, get Home Technique down on the table here. But to make that happen, we're going to have to pop Ant-Man for 4. We are then going to flip down to tiny form and remove 1 threat from the scheme. We're going to activate one of the army of ants. Take her down to 2nd form. Oh, reduce the amount of damage from attacks. Okay. So she would have only taken 3, 4, so she would be at 1 now. But we'll go ahead and pop both of our army of ants at the same time then. Stack them together, which gets her down to 0. Those don't count as attacks. Okay. On phase 2, which means she's at 17 health points now. Awesome. When Nebula initiates an attack, same kind of thing. Discard one of those attachments. Oh, wow. Okay, so now it's a difference because now we're choosing which one. We don't get a chance to do the rest. Interesting. Okay. We're going to go ahead and play Resize. Change back to giant form. Which does a point of damage to her. And then, because of the response, and then we will go ahead and draw a card because that's what the card Resize says to do. All right, we drew into Ironheart. All right, we will spend the Milano. Twin Carrier and Ironheart to get Home Technique onto the table. I'm hoping to utilize that card. Just wanted to see how well it works. I've heard good things about it. All right. That is my entire turn. I'm going to ready everybody back up. Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I could use this as a mental resource to then do, oh man, mental or fist. So either way, it ends up being 4 here. So it's no big deal. Okay. So our next turn begins. This goes up to 2. This goes up to 4. I want to deal with that at some point soon too. Nebula is going to come in for an attack. She's swinging for 2 plus. I think we need to slow our roll a little bit. We'll discard. Not discard, we will defend. Draw. So her boost card is 2, 3. So we took no damage. The wide stance still activates, so you discard one card at random from your hand. Which is Gambit. And then I can choose to discard this card if I want to. So next, she will get an encounter card, which is a Treachery. Nebula attacks you. If damage is dealt by this activation, place one evasion counter on Nebula's ship. Okay. Well, poop, she's going to do damage to me. So, 2, 3. Give this villain an additional boost card for this activation. Oh, cool. Awesome. But that one's empty. So, 3 points of damage. Not terrible, definitely manageable. 2, 3, we're at 7. We're back to our turn. Okay. Okay. We're going to flip down. Tiny. Remove one threat. We are then going to spin the Pim particles. Play surprise attack. And deal 4 points of damage. And then 2 from Army of Ants. Because we spent Pim particles while I was in Tiny, I get to draw a card. It's a mental resource. Oof. Okay, spend 2 resources of any type. Remove 1 evasion counter away from here for each resource spent this way. Oh, cool. Alright, so we'll go ahead and exhaust the Milano. We'll spend these 2. Drawing near also happened. So we got to deal with that here soon too. But we'll get rid of these counters here. They don't go up crazy high because that was supposed to be at 3 actually, so we're down to 1. Okay. All right. And she did 3 damage to me, so she does have the Power Stone. Forgot about that. We gonna be okay? I think so. Ready, back up. Up to our hand size, which is now 5. 1, there's our strength. 2, no quarter. 3, 4, 5. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we just won the game if we can just survive this round. So. First things first. This goes up to 2. This goes up to 5. Nebula's going to come in for an attack. We will defend. Defending for 2. Swinging for 3. Plus this. After this activation ends, attach this card to Nebula and resolve the special ability. Okay. Alright. So this gets attached to Nebula. Gains retaliate 1. But I gotta take 1 point of damage, so we're down to 6. Okay. Alright. We get an encounter card. Pirate Lackey. Comes in with Quick Strike, so I take 2 points of damage. After this many attacks and damages you, remove the top card of your deck from the game. Okay. 2 points of damage. Top card of my deck is Team Building Exercise and is removed from the game. Wow. Okay. All right. This is my turn. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do full body charge. And I'm spending a mental resource to make that happen. Oh, wait, hold on. Yep. That's going to make it 12 with Hone Technique. The full body charge is now going to do 12. We will take out this Lackey, which gets Nebula down to 9. Nine hit points, so it gets her down to 1. She was at 10. Morning, Jacob. How are you? Welcome on in. And then we will activate our Army of Ants. And take out Nebula. What an incredibly fun deck, actually. Okay, so I've never used Hone Technique before. So that was a lot of fun. Nebula is very interesting to play against. Ant-Man was able to handle this well, though, which is really cool to see. Aggression itself is actually quite fun. There are some cards in here that I don't know if I would use again, like Toe-to-Toe. I didn't get really a chance to use. A full body charge is just brutal. No quarter. It would be interesting if I was dealing with more minions and stuff too. So I like this a lot, though. I'm curious if I could have survived against her and expert mode. I've not ever played expert mode. I also got Hone Technique pretty quick. I barely saw any of his cards. And the Army of Ants really is just a stupid, strong card thing overall. Maybe should have taken one more point of damage because I did forget about Power Stone. But that wasn't removed from the game. It was just discarded. I find this quite interesting. These pirates are interesting too. The extra stuff that they can do, which makes them a lot more fun and other things to play as well. This is really well done, actually. I am quite content and satisfied with my care here. Nebula is fun. She's definitely a villain I would be willing to face again. And she is quite unique and just different comparatively overall. Pursued by the Past would have gone off, but even then, maybe it wouldn't have been this double, though, would it? No, it would have been the double. But he doesn't have Quick Strike. So it wouldn't have made much of a difference overall. And this obligation was not terrible to just live with. So I find Ant-Man to be a great joy. And I will definitely keep playing Ant-Man in the long term as a Avenger that I'll just build and bring to the table for a fun game. So If you guys liked this, hit that like button. That'd be great. If you guys have any thoughts or anything that I could have done differently, please leave me a comment. And of course, you know, a subscription's always appreciated.